Over the past 24 hours, Hurricane Melissa has gone from just a tropical storm to now a monster Category 4 hurricane, which could be the most damaging hurricane Jamaica has ever seen. In this video, I'll break down exactly where and when you can expect these impacts, and moving forward, who it might affect as we push into the future. And here's the National Weather Service's guidance in terms of track where this system could be moving. It is a major hurricane at this point, Category 4 status, and I think it could increase around to a Category 5. The models are wobbling back and forth in terms of where it will land in Jamaica, but the consensus is around Tuesday early morning, making landfall through Jamaica. Jamaica now under a hurricane warning. Parts of Haiti under that hurricane watch, as well as Cuba under that hurricane watch as well. But notice how long of a time this is. This is around 2 days, 48 hours, just over 48 hours, but it's not moving much at all. The system really is stalling over these warm ocean waters, and that's why we experienced that rapid intensification, again, from that tropical storm to a major hurricane. And like I said, if it trends more to the west, like this model has been wobbling, I said, more to the west, it could increase in intensity over those warm ocean waters, pushing through Jamaica into Cuba, affecting Haiti as well. And then eventually, still as a hurricane into the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos should be hit with a fair bit amount of wind and rain with this system as well. And we can't rule out the possibility of Bermuda being affected by this later into the week around Friday. Let me give you a little bit more detail here with this system. This is the cone of uncertainty, as some people refer to it. So it could be anywhere within this cone as it pushes through Cuba, through the Bahamas, towards Bermuda. But you can see this model here having it get up to that Category 5 status with 160 mile per hour sustained winds pushing through Jamaica, just decreasing to a very strong Category 4 still, but pushing through Cuba as well, still as that major hurricane as a Category 3, and then making its way through the Bahamas just 72 hours from the time of this recording. And here is your hurricane intensity chart for Melissa, the x-axis being that forecasting hour, 24, 48 hours, 1 to 2 days out. The consensus is that we'll be maintaining that Category 4 status, but I tend to disagree with a lot of these models. I think it will reach that Category 5 status. Many experts are also claiming as well over the next 24 to 48 hours, a Category 5 status will happen, but a decrease in intensity as it moves closer to Jamaica, of course, going over the land. It won't have a lot of that water to keep refueling itself and intensifying further. And let me walk you through just how warm these ocean waters are. Here's first a satellite image of Hurricane Melissa. Huge eye wall, very defined system, is very symmetric at this point as well. Again, just 24 hours ago, it was a strong tropical storm. It's kind of amazing how fast it has intensified. And this system is very scary. It's a monster storm. But the sea surface temperatures are warm. This is really fueling it. And again, that's 30 degrees Celsius, around 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Very warm ocean waters for this time of year. But if it continues on this westward track and stays away from Jamaica for the most part, it's going to continue fueling and intensifying. This model having it trend more westward, getting up to that Category 5 status. I think that is definitely possible, just decreasing a little bit before making its way over Jamaica. But once it starts heading north, it's going to encounter some of this wind shear here. I know it's kind of hard to see here, but these red lines indicate some areas of high wind shear, which would tear up the symmetry of this system, decreasing its chances of increasing in intensity. But as you can see, as it pushes through the Bahamas, still a Category 2 hurricane, very dangerous, but losing its major hurricane status over there. Let me walk you through what radar could look like as we push into Monday and later into Tuesday for the landfall. Those RAN bands are going to continue to wrap around Jamaica all afternoon and all day Monday before eventually it intensifies here. We'll see if it gets this strong with that low of a internal pressure drop. But this model having it make landfall in western to central Jamaica. Again, these models are going to wobble over the next couple of hours. So just keep in mind a landfall is it's extremely likely for Jamaica. But as we push over Jamaica into Cuba, still as a major hurricane, and then into the Bahamas, the Turks and Caicos getting a lot of that rain as well, and then pushing out into the mid-Atlantic sometime around Thursday afternoon. And again, if I'm in Jamaica listening to this, I would get prepared right now. Look after your neighbors. Listen to your local emergency officials. They're likely going to have the best insight in terms of what you should do and what actions you should take on a local level. You're going to want to take this system seriously. This is going to bring catastrophic conditions, not only to Jamaica, but also, I would argue, into Cuba as well. I think the main threat is the rain. The National Weather Service here giving a rainfall outlook here. And you can see in parts of eastern Jamaica, 40 inches of rain is certainly a possibility. Even into Haiti, the western peninsula of Haiti, they're seeing 16 plus inches of rain. That's a huge threat. But moving into Cuba as well, they could see up to 20 inches of threat. And that's not even on the coast, that's inland. So a lot of rain with this system. And again, it's all because the system is stalling out over the ocean. It's just going to continue wrapping around all that rain for Jamaica there, giving them a ton of flooding. I would expect flash flooding, mudslides, because there's a mountainous terrain off to the east. And of course, the wind, the storm surge, the wind's going to be pushing all the ocean up there. This really is, in my opinion, one of the worst case scenarios for Jamaica as this system progresses and potentially makes landfall Tuesday morning. But taking a look back at the United States, there is a slight risk of some severe weather moving through the area. I think wind is probably the most pressing story here. Maybe some damaging winds, maybe bring in those Halloween decorations today. But in terms of tornadoes, there is definitely a chance for tornadoes. 5% in the western panhandle of Florida, and again, parts of Mobile, Alabama, the coastline of Alabama and Florida, seeing that. But even down into Panama City, 2% chance of a spin-up tornado is not a high percent chance, but you definitely can't rule out the possibility of a spin-up tornado. But again, I think wind is the main story with this. Maybe some severe thunderstorms as well. But consider bringing in those Halloween decorations for today. But zooming out a bit and looking at this holistically, the eastern coast could be seeing some cooler conditions as we push into Halloween. It's all thanks to this low pressure system. It moved off to the east and south quicker than anticipated and farther than anticipated. I'm thinking it's because of that hurricane pulling it down, forming a vacuum here because it's moving off pretty quickly. A lot of cooler and dry air coming down into the south, giving us those cooler than average conditions. And let me help you visualize that here with your temperature anomalies. The negative numbers are going to be below average and a positive number is going to be above average there. And this is Thursday, October 30th, perhaps 24 hours before trick-or-treating starts. Notice that Atlanta down there, negative 20 degrees below average. Nashville, 20 degrees below, 16 degrees below average, I should say. Parts of Knoxville seeing close to 20 degrees below average. So it really is the story of the opposites here. California seeing that as above average temperatures, our western coast seeing those above average temperatures, but mainly the south central and southeast United States and even into the northeast United States seeing those below average temperatures. By pushing forward to Halloween, those below average conditions still linger through. It should be a cooler than average Halloween on the way for the eastern coast and a little bit of a warmer average for the western coast. And thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like and subscribe.